Hello, everyone out there. Hello, and welcome to PMQ Live Update for April 7th. Again, hard to keep track of what day it actually is, so I'm just going by the numbers. We're here with U.S. Pizza team member and good friend Leah Scurto of PizzaLeah out in Windsor, California. She is going to talk to us today about a very unique situation, honestly, that a couple other U.S. Pizza team members found themselves in varying degrees of, basically opening a store right at the beginning of all this crisis. So she went on her own way, took everything she learned, and wanted to open her own place. And you're just telling me it opened 1 week before the shelter-in-place went into effect in California?
Yeah, exactly. Our day one was we think it was the 7th. We did a little family and friends thing for training, and then officially opened the doors on the 9th. And by the end of the weekend, the end of the week, we were had the shelter-in-place order come down and basically closed our dining room then.
Wow. Did you have good traffic for that week at least? Were people excited to have a new place?
I mean, that's the thing. That first week we were slamming. It was, great reviews. People were happy. Training was going really well, and things were looking good. And, we kind of saw it coming, like, oh, crap, like, what is going to happen here? But at the same time, it's like, we're on a train. We can't stop right now. We got to keep going. We don't know what's going to happen and what the future is going to be, but, like, we're opening the doors, and we just got to open the doors and see what happens. So it was weird.
Was there ever any consideration at some point? Was there hesitation to say maybe we should just have this week and then come back when everything's done? Was that ever considered at all?
I mean, I consider it every day at this point. I'm constantly weighing safety of myself, safety of my staff versus having the door open, and trying to figure out, am I doing the right thing? Am I in, right now it's, I keep seeing stuff online where people memes and whatnot, and people are like, I'm like scared to come to work, but scared to not work. And it's like, I'm sitting in that boat. That's my daily life. Where are we between being stupid by staying open and being smart by staying open? Trying to find that medium. And I'm ready. And I've talked to all my employees, and I've been talking to them daily. I have a couple of teenagers, and I've spoken with their parents as well. And I just put it out there that the day that people feel unsafe coming to work is the day I shut the doors immediately. So
did you
now?
Well, I mean, I assume you had a minimal staff when you first started, just trying to see how many you actually needed. Did you lose anybody right away? And I mean, what kind of employee relief do you have set up for them?
Excuse me. I got allergy. I know, COVID. No, I'm sitting outside and it's allergy season like crazy. There's all these fluffy little pollen balls flying all around me. But so I had staff that unfortunately I had to let go, a couple of people, because the business model I had gone for, I wanted to build a restaurant. We did put all our work into the dining room, and I wanted it to be somewhere where people could come in and hang out. We built these beautiful 12-foot long tables out of butcher block, and the point was to have people come in and hang out and enjoy themselves and bring their families. And so I didn't build the restaurant geared towards takeout, and I knew we would have takeout because we're a pizza joint, but I wasn't going to do any delivery, and was not gearing the restaurant as a takeout place. So I had a full front of the house staff. I had, and I don't know if it's luckily or not. It sounds weird to say luckily, but a couple of my front of the house staff were high school kids. who it doesn't necessarily affect them as much to not be working right now, as opposed to adults that are trying to have families and trying to pay rent. But I did end up having a couple people. One person was traveling right at the beginning of all this. And I told her, unfortunately, the staff, I got to keep everybody else safe. And with you having been traveling and in airports, I don't think it's right to bring you in right now. And a couple of the other staff expressed concerns like, well, we don't know where she's been. So it was like, hey, you got a job as soon as all this is over. You got a job and you're back, but I couldn't take the risk, And so there was definitely people that I had to lay off on the front of the house. The back of the house, I had to lay off one person. So it's just basically, I only have one cook back there. It's me and one cook running 5 days a week, doing 9-hour shifts, 10-hour shifts.
Well, you had mentioned, you weren't set up for takeout, really. You came in with a particular business model. How hard was it for you to pivot on that business model? And I did want to say, everybody, go ahead and ask your questions in the comment section. I'll put them up on screen, and Leah can answer them if you have any questions about what she's talking about. She's going to have some good tips, or at least tell her story so that maybe something that she says can help you or someone that you may know. But how hard was it to pivot on that business model from something to something you were not set up to do?
Well, so for me, the actual pivot wasn't that difficult because I've worked in.
Oh, really? Can't hear you. Here, hold on. I messed up. Hold on, that's my fault. The interrupts are going really slow right now, so I do apologize, folks. I'm trying to unmute her mic. You there?
There you go. We're good. Yeah.
Okay.
It says my host has unmuted me.
Continue again.
No, that's okay. So I had a lot of experience doing takeout with working at Pizza My Heart. It was heavily focused on takeout and grab and go, quick order, that sort of thing. So for me, mentally, the pivot wasn't hard. The toughest part was for the phone lines, to be honest. We're doing curbside pickup. And so between orders coming in and the phone calls coming in for the curbside pickup, when it's busy during the dinner rush, the phones are just clogged up. And, I was getting emails and messages from people saying they couldn't get through, and the phone line was disconnected. And the best thing I could equate it to was when you call in for a radio contest to try to win tickets or something like that, and you get the do or whatever, just busy signals, or it just cuts off altogether. And essentially that's what's been happening to my phone lines. So the biggest thing I did was push hard on social media and encourage people to order early and call in, order for the evening, and set their time for later at night for pickup, so that they don't have to be battling the phone lines. But,
okay, so how many lines did you have?
We only have 2.
Okay.
And I called Comcast to see about getting more, and it's like, hey, we can send the technician out in 3 weeks and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's not going to do me any good this weekend for Friday night. So, I'm just right now trying to get by. And I didn't have my online ordering set up yet, because we were open for 5 days before the shelter in place, or 6 days before the shelter in place came in. So I wasn't 100% ready with online ordering yet, and now I'm actually a little bit hesitant to turn it on because we pared the menu down so much just to get by. Certain things that don't package up well to go, or don't just are light sellers basically as well, that I didn't want to be wasting food right now. And I wasn't sure, could we be getting a full shutdown at any minute? So I just wasn't sure what was going to happen. So I immediately pared the menu down to make it a little easier on everybody and to make food cost more affordable. So.
I mean, you said something interesting right there, though, is that you didn't even necessarily consider pushing online ordering yet, getting that set up, because you obviously didn't have that right at the beginning. And it's kind of an interesting decision to decide not to try to push that right now or get that set up. I mean, do you think it would just be too much? Like you said, you pared down the menu. You think you might have too much business because of that?
No, it's not about too much business. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm welcoming all the business I can get right now. Mm-hmm. I just, we've also been selling out often. Again, with keeping a really tight inventory right now, we've been making only X amount of dough balls, more for Thursday, Friday, Saturday than for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday or Sundays. But I just want to keep everything really tight. I don't want to over order. I don't want to be throwing away food. And so if we sell out, it's tough. If you get online orders, it's really tough to when you got to manage that, to cut it off and let people know if you've sold out for the evening, So
yeah,
and it's not that
it's better to sell out than to have too much, like you're saying. So
oh yeah, because we did the first 2 weeks, we ended up having to dump a handful of things because I was set up to have we made these beautiful cheese boards, and I was going to make have cheese plates, but you can't. A to-go cheese plate is weird, you just throw a bunch of crap in the boxes, because the cheese plate's about the display for the most part, you're making it look pretty and this, that, and the other, but you do a cheese plate to go, it's like, well, that's weird. It's just like rattling around in the box. So
a bunch of little Ziploc baggies or something, but
yeah. And then I'm even hesitant to do salads right now. Uncooked food, something that's cooked, it goes in the box, nobody touches it. It's clean, everything's secure. Even if somebody is a carrier and not showing symptoms, a cooked pizza in the box, nobody's gonna, it's not contaminated. We're wearing gloves once everything goes in. And I'm a little hesitant to buy uncooked food and eat uncooked food right now, but also to serve it,
Yeah.
No.
Well, and I mean, that kind of brought me to another kind of a point there, is that you really didn't have a chance to get it built to. You weren't open that long to kind of see the actual inflow and outflow. So, I mean, you were obviously using your best, your knowledge, your best guess, for lack of a better term, just because you've been doing it for so long. But, I mean, do you have any other tips about that if somebody was coming in and didn't have as much experience as you, possibly, aside from, order less and kind of see how it goes?
Yeah, I mean, daily inventory right now, and I'm even doing it now. You got to know exactly how much you have every single day, how much you're making, how much you're using. And it seems tedious to take inventory every single day, but if you want to keep things tight right now, that's what you got to do. You got to inventory everything and match everything to what you're selling. Keeping track of your waste is really important, so you know what exactly is going in and coming out. And it'll help you with ordering. It'll help you knowing how much you need for each day. Keeping track of your product mix so you know exactly what you're selling from day to day is also a big thing for any restaurant in general. But right now, if you're new and you're trying to figure out how to keep it tight and stay open and not lose money, and I think at this point we're all kind of aiming for a break even at minimum. Well, we may not be making a bunch of money, but if we can pay the bills and keep the doors open, then when all of this is over, we can sustain longer. For down through this whole epidemic thing.
Yeah, and I wanted and I assume with Dungeon Chat Experts, you're talking optics. You're talking about not throwing a bunch of loose cheese in a box.
Yeah,
I assume. Maybe you can clarify, but I wanted to bring me to what you had said. You can't really afford to change the infrastructure on your phone system right yet. They could have come out in a week or so, but it doesn't help you for the immediate future. Basically, you said, I wanted to see, I mean, are you making money? Because most of new businesses, you don't pay yourself for a couple years sometimes. I mean, are you guys staying afloat? Which is better, losing money or closing?
I mean, I'm not paying myself right now. So in that regard, I'm not making money. But in terms of paying the bills versus my sales, I'm right about break even right now. We're doing a little bit better than break even, but that's next week. It could be totally different. I just don't know. You know, where I am up here in Sonoma County, it's service industry, and there are a lot of people out of work, and people have been extremely generous and really into supporting local businesses and small businesses. But I do think with the amount of people in the hospitality industry that are out of work, there's going to be a point coming up soon where people who were feeling good about spending money are going to start saying, oh, you know, I don't know where my next paycheck's coming from. And that $1,200 stimulus check that we've all been promised, you know, that doesn't pay rent up here. So there's going to be a point where everybody's pockets are starting to feel the crunch, and people are going to be clamping down and spending less money out. You know, reality is it's cheaper to cook at home and to make your own meals. So it's going to be, I think there's going to be another clamp down, and sales are, you know, going to get a little tighter. And, you know, people have been saying, Lars said it in his, it's safer at this point to come to a restaurant, I feel like. Because there's less interaction with people. We're not letting people in at all. We're only doing curbside pickup. So people don't have to get out of their cars. But, you know, there's less risk coming to a restaurant, but it also costs more, you know, than going to the grocery store.
True. And I mean, you said you were in Sonoma County. You said it's heavy in the service industry, but it's not as big as like San Francisco or something like that. So is there less opportunity for people there?
Well,
is it more rural in your area? I hate that word. I can never say it right.
Yeah, no, it is rural, but I'm surrounded. I mean, if I stand up right here and you look behind me, there's like nothing but vineyards out there. And nice. I'm in the middle of wine country, and the wine industry, the wineries, the tasting rooms, the breweries, that's a majority of the business up here. And all those places are shut down. All the wineries are shut down. There's people, you know, they're doing home delivery and trying to keep a couple people on, but there are a lot of people out of work up here. And maybe more than in the cities, potentially. In terms of jobs per capita, it's a lot of service. We're a tourist destination. This area thrives off of tourism and the hospitality industry.
Yeah. Well, and being the tourist area, you know, they're getting any establishment in that tourist area is obviously getting hit really harder than most regular restaurants. So, I mean, are you going insane trying to keep up daily on things that are changing? How are you digesting information? Are you getting it social media, watching the news? What do you do?
Yeah, I try not to watch too much news because I just feel like everybody's getting inundated with a bunch of bullshit, to be honest. I mean, you got to watch some of it because you got to know what's going on. You got to stay up. But the fear factor, I don't like the fear factor of the news. And I'm taking it very seriously. Don't get me wrong. Like, I understand what's going on here, and I understand that it's very serious, but if you watch too much news, you're just going to go insane. And I can't, the negativity and the arguing and the blaming, I just can't deal with that. Like, I don't have the bandwidth in my mental capacity to deal with all that shit right now. So I am, I'm trying hard to, I forgot the question.
Well, it was just about how you're digesting, how you're getting your information.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
you're not really watching the news that much, but you're kind of watching the biggest cities next to you, San Francisco and San Jose, and hearing what they're doing as an indicator of what's coming.
And I try to stay on like actual sites and not news sites, and try to get like CDC information and that sort of thing. But no, my indicators right now are definitely the San Jose, Santa Clara Valley, and San Francisco. Because we are, we're still in the Bay Area, but we're North Bay Area. We're a little bit more rural. We're not in the city. But it's when I know things are getting bad in our area is when it starts getting really bad in San Jose, Santa Clara, and San Francisco. And those will kind of be my indicators of, oh shit, we're going to need, sorry, I keep swearing. I apologize.
You have one more. That was your third strike. I was going to allow one more.
Beep. The San Francisco, that'll be my indicator of when it's time for me to really start considering closing the doors.
Okay. Dungeon Chat experts did ask another good questions. Are there still? I had seen the same thing though. That since it's a tourist area, are there still a lot of other places like your place that are open in your area? Not the wineries and tasting rooms.
No, there are. There's a lot of small local businesses are still open and doing takeout. Some of the more fine dining places are all closed. There's a lot of places that everybody else has limited hours, whether they're doing lunches only or dinners only. When we actually are in an area where we do a really decent lunch, because some people have said, well, you're open 11:30 to 6. Like why aren't you open for dinner? But we're actually in an area where people are coming in for lunch, and we're doing a lot of daytime business. And we've been doing some large orders for people trying to feed folks at group homes and at the food bank, and picking up to feed their staff during the daytime, because there are some breweries and stuff like that and wineries that are open and still in production. They just don't have their tasting rooms and stuff like that open. So we've been doing a fair amount of daytime business as well. And there are local people still open, a lot of, just like I said, small local restaurants that are just trying to, they're in the same boat as me. It's like, it's if you close the doors, you don't know if you're going to be able to reopen them. So you're just trying to keep them open while you can and do what you can. And for me, I see you're flowing up my Facebook right now. A couple doors down from me is a small local ice cream place called Two Dog Night Creamery. And it's just this chick, Jackie, who's super cool. And it's her and running the business herself, and she doesn't necessarily feel she's also got a young kid right now, a baby, so she's trying to limit her interactions with the public. So we rolled a freezer. She got a freezer and rolled it into our dining room, and we're selling pints for her out of the dining room. And it's cool. I'm not making any money off of it. I just wanted to do what I could to help her out so she can be able to keep making some sales. So people can come to PizzaLeah and order pints of ice cream with their takeout that they normally would get from the ice cream shop down the street. Well, not down the street. It's like 3 doors down from us. Yeah,
I don't want to say like renting floor space for them, but offering that floor space to other local establishments. That's great. I've been trying to question people about what they are doing to team up with others in the area. Like, do you always make your own pizza and take it home for dinner every night, or are you trying to support another local one and go to a different place, a local place, and get dinner for that evening for you and Rachel?
Well, for me, it's tough because I've been going into work at 7:38 every morning and not getting home until about 8 o'clock at night. So I haven't really personally been eating any food out. I've gotten lunch from there's a local burger joint across the way from me too. And I've picked up lunch a couple of times for my staff and for myself. But I've just been working so much. And when I'm taking a day off today, and although I went into the restaurant for 3 hours this morning and made my order and made dough and, paid some bills, but
on your birthday, by the way, so happy birthday, and thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. Everybody's saying happy birthday. But I wanted to ask you about this kind of goes back with paring down your menu or something. Like they said, some of the fine dining places are closed. Do you think it's because their food is more expensive, so people aren't going, or the cost for them is just too expensive to keep purchasing the food? And the question that George Taylor had for somebody like Lars is, are people ordering like necessities versus the gourmet stuff? Because you make some really, nice pizzas, like not fancy, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you thinking people are just getting the pepperoni and cheese, or they still want that flair on their pizza?
No, people are still ordering the fun stuff. Absolutely. And I think in terms of the fine dining restaurants and the fancier restaurants, some food is just not as good to go. And you're selling a compromised product, or presentation is a big part of it. And so you can't really have presentation in a box, presentation in a box. You don't know who's shaking it around, moving it around.
Yeah.
Pizza travels really well. There's a lot of food that travels well also, but when you're doing takeout only, some of these businesses, I just think that most of their staff is, whether they're open or not, they're still cutting back on their staff because they just don't need a full dining room of servers to do takeout orders. You need 1 or 2 people answering phones and walking stuff out to the cars. So, and then is it worth it for them to be open or not? And some places around here have, 2 restaurants, and they kept one, sister restaurants, whatever, they kept one open and one's closed, and they moved people into one versus the other. I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm seeing. So.
Okay. You're saying right now your main focus is your restaurant. That's where you're putting all your time and your energy. Is there any other tips that you would have for somebody who is obviously right now? Well, anytime you start a business like that, that's what you do in the first place anyway. Do you find that it's extra? You're putting more time in than you thought you would?
I'm putting different time in than I thought I would. I knew that opening a new restaurant, I would be here 24/7 for 6 to 9 months. Like that was in my game plan already. What I did count on was hopefully paying myself, which I'm not doing right now. And
I can see you reading.
And I'm actually getting more time off than I thought, because with everything that was happening and limited staff, we're only open 5 days a week right now. And so
that's what I was wanting to. Yeah, I was going to say, was that the original plan? Was that going to be your original schedule of only 5 days a week, or did you adjust that for this?
The original schedule was open every day from 11 to 9:30, 10, depending upon the night of the week. But right now, people just aren't out. And there's, I was questioning Sunday. I was questioning whether it was worth it to be open on Sundays or not. Sundays so far have been the slowest day of the week. And with people just not wanting to go out or not feeling safe going out,
it's different.
It's just tough. So it's like, why, do we need to be open every single day or can we maximize our orders on certain days and drive everybody to come in on the same days so that we're maximizing and not wasting labor, not wasting electricity, being open when we don't need to be.
What days are you open currently? I'm not sure. I couldn't remember if you mentioned it.
We're probably, with Easter being next week, I'll probably adjust and do Tuesday through Saturday. So closed on Sunday, Monday.
Okay. Is that what you were doing right now, or are you going to make that adjustment because of Easter and then just keep those days, or are you testing out different days off to see which?
No, we were doing Tuesday. We were doing Wednesday through Sunday. Mm-hmm. But like I said, with Easter next week, I think I'm just going to make a switch and do Sunday, or be closed on Sundays and Mondays instead of Monday and Tuesday. I think that'll be. Everybody's been pushing too. This whole, I don't know. If I had known ahead of time that people were going to push this takeout Tuesday thing, I never would have closed on Tuesday in the first place. I'm like, what? How did everybody decide this without me?
Well, we had the meeting. You just didn't, I guess, you didn't open the email.
So I'd like to be able to be open for Takeout Tuesdays now.
Well, I did want to see here. It says, let me show the picture real quick, but you I guess you got some kind of donation. Are you seeing a lot of locals?
Oh yeah, you know what?
Giving to staff in local restaurants like that?
It's so amazing. It started out with one donation of $1,000 to feed people who are out of work, basically. And then after that came in, 3 or 4 more people that I know called and said, hey, we want to donate as well. And it's just been incredible because it supports me, and I appreciate these people giving their money, donating their money to me to support sales for my business. But then B, I've also been able to help feed local people who are out of work. And we've sent some money or sent some food for some hospital workers. Mm-hmm. We've done most of it to out of work service industry people, hospitality, management, whatever, people who are out of a job right now, and sent pizzas there. I also did some donations with the local, was trying to work with a guy, and I want to do more of this with the local day laborers. Again, we're in wine country, and there's a lot of day labor work up here for people who are not going to be receiving their $1,200 checks, even though they pay taxes and work their asses off to feed and water the American public, but they aren't going to get any money from the stimulus package. And so I've also been trying to send money to those people, or send food, not money, but be able to feed them, feed their families, that sort of thing.
It's great. John Arena does have a question. I was actually going to get to it. That was going to be my next question, in fact. But George Taylor I guess he's just saying that maybe if you're lucky, you've got your customers trained, you can still stay closed on Sundays and Mondays when things get back to normal. Because this is going to be the current normal. You're lucky that you had just kind of started opening. I don't want to say you're lucky, but your customers weren't necessarily trained yet. They only had a week. They haven't gotten into the routine.
I hate restaurants I don't mean to sound like a dick, but I hate when restaurants are closed on certain days of the week. And I get it. People need a break. So I understand. And I totally get it. But the closed on Tuesday thing or closed on Monday thing, in general, it kind of drives me nuts. Because you never remember who's closed when. It's not like you keep, and you always inevitably show up at the restaurant and you're like, God damn it, they're closed today.
Well,
I don't ever want to be that restaurant. I don't in normal times. I don't ever want to be the restaurant where somebody shows up looking forward to a meal and we're closed. I want to be open every day of the week. I want to be there for the community. The whole point was to build a restaurant and a dining room where the community feels comfortable coming in and hanging out, and I still want to do that. So I'm not looking forward to being closed forever on 2 days a week. Yeah,
well, and that's I don't often get Thai food, but it's that one day a week that I get a craving for it, and that's the one day that they're closed.
Always,
every single time,
right?
And I never remember. So, and John had a good question. I'm going to put that up there for you. He was basically, are you doing any bake at home items? My question was going to be similar. Are you doing any kind of special deals, like offering take home kits, or doing a takeout Tuesday promotion?
No, I haven't.
Are you sending your products home with people?
I haven't done any takeout kits or do-it-yourself kits, but I am offering people, especially because we are closing a little bit earlier than your normal dinner time would finish. We've been telling people like crazy and doing a lot of half bakes so they can finish it at home, writing out instructions. And doing par baked pizzas so they can take it home, finish it in their oven whenever they actually want to have dinner.
Well, that's it. Then you are doing it. So it is a take at home. It's a take and bake, but it's a take,
Sort of. It's a take and finish.
Right. No worries. So it is something I do like that. It's it just makes it quick, and then they're not committed to eating it right when they get home either. If they have to get home and do something for an hour, they can put it in when they want, or even get a bunch of them and have them, throughout the week if they want. How long do those?
Yeah.
How long do you think they would last typically at bar bake? How long would they be good for before somebody had to use it?
I mean, you can put it in the fridge technically and cook it the next day.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, do you think it'd be good for like 3 days, 4 days, something like that? But
yeah, I would say maybe 2 at most. But I did 6 pizzas the other day. I did 6 small pizzas and cooked them just under finished, and then let them cool. And the people wanted to wrap them tightly so they could take them home and freeze them and pull them out as they wanted.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was the point. I was getting to that point. So
yeah, but that you got to wrap it tight, airtight. Otherwise, it's bread and it gets weird.
Yeah.
It's you don't want to keep bread around in the freezer or the refrigerator for too long, in my opinion.
Well,
same thing. The microwave stuff also makes bread weird.
Yep. And MFG Trey, they did want to say good luck to you and stay positive and keep helping others. But it makes a good point. I wanted to kind of get your final thoughts. I will wrap this up here in a second. Remember, guys, ask your questions. Now's the chance because she's ready to answer them. But is there one good tip for somebody in your position? If you had one final thought for people, what would it be? What's the best thing, the hardest thing that maybe you learned that you can tell people about now so they don't have to make the same mistake or struggle?
I mean, you mean in terms of opening a restaurant in the middle of a pandemic?
Yeah. Yep. Maybe don't do that, but
Don't? I don't know. No. I don't know. Just stay strong, man. You got to keep at it. Don't let it get you down. What is this? There's a question. Just opening.
This was with just the opening before this opened.
Hitting social media hard. I did a local radio show here that's in Sonoma County, hosted by John Ash. And they had me on the radio and were promoting me pretty well. So it's all about making contacts and using social media, I think, right these days in terms of getting the word out and letting people know who you are. But you just don't let this get you down if you just open. I know what, like Mike Wolf up in Sacramento, the Wolf and Johnny Bellucci just opened. And it's tough. But it's tough for everybody, whether you just opened or you didn't just open. You've been open 20 years. Right now, it's tough for everybody. And I think the biggest key here is try to stay positive and try to, do what you can right now to keep making money, because we just don't know. We don't know if there's something more coming down the road. I hope not. I hope this is the worst of it, but we don't know if they're going to end up shutting everybody down at some point. And if it, the Bay Area starts turning into a scenario like New York, we're going to be stupid to not close the doors at some point. Yeah. So stay positive. Try not to focus on the negative. Try not to focus on all the scare tactics and stuff like that that's happening right now. Protect yourself. Wear your gloves. Wear your masks. We're doing that. I'm flying through gloves. That'll be the other thing that shuts us down. If our food distributor runs out of, soap, bleach, gloves, that'll be another thing that, we can't be open anymore because that's everything we can do to keep the staff safe right now. I just ordered some masks for the whole staff online this morning, and we just got to keep our people safe. We're not letting anybody inside the restaurant. We're only doing curbside. Call from outdoor. We got signs all over the place, and I hate signs too. It's my other pet peeve. Nobody really reads signs, but I hate a place where you walk in and it's like signs everywhere. Signs. It's like I want people to tell you what to do and direct and hey, come over here and but we can't do that right now. So signs it is. But
I thought you were getting ready to sing the song. You were that close.
Listen, don't
Signs everywhere, the signs are.
I'm almost done with this beer.
Says happy. Hi, everybody. Crazy day, indeed. I wanted to thank you so much, Leah. And, again, like Michael Wolf and Gianni Gallucci, they're in varying degrees of your situation. They've been open a little longer, but nobody's been – all you guys opened at different times. So, we might have to talk with those guys, too, at some point to see how they're managing it. But, I want to thank you for your time today. Happy birthday. Good luck and stay positive out there. I got one more here. John Arena says, how about one more flash of that famous smile? There it is. Right.
Got you, John. Thank
you guys so much. Tomorrow we're going to be talking with U.S. Pizza team member Brandon Davis from Novella's Pizza in New Hudson, Michigan. We were going to talk about some other kind of takeout deals, how he's making them, how everybody's doing takeout deals, but it's how people are adapting them and making them unique. We also, alcohol delivery sales now, no catch at all, set up a pickup window. You're lucky enough to be a place that has a drive-through window. Most pizzerias aren't, but training your customers to go to that certain spot. A lot of repetition on the information, but it's how they handle it themselves and make it unique, which is I'm really liking to hear. So that'll be tomorrow, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll see you guys then. Again, Leah, happy birthday and have a great day.
Thank you.